For me as a landscape photographer, the first thing I'm reaching for when I want to take pictures is my tripod. And definitely there's no such thing as a perfect tripod. I'm constantly interested in all kinds of tripods, but I don't usually change tripods all that much, to be honest. Like, I've used the same tripod for quite a couple of years, and I've been kind of just using the same setup. But recently I've kind of noticed some of my peers on YouTube, like Adam Gibbs, Gavin Hardcastle, using a certain kind of tripod. Even Nick Page talked about it, that kind of piqued my interest. So the tripod that I got was the FLM CP34-L4, the Series 2. It's a carbon fiber tripod. You can see it right here, and it has 4 sections for the legs, and it has no center column, which is quite different from the current tripod that I have. And I think I quite like this idea of having no central column, because it allows you to shoot really low and be 4.6 inches, I believe, off the ground. This is the lowest it can go up, and the highest it can reach it was 68 inches, so that's quite pretty impressive on this tripod. I mean, this is almost like my height, and you don't need a central column. I never even used one on my previous tripod, and I don't think I would actually had a use for it. I mean, if you're trying to reach higher than that, you're never gonna be able to reach the button. So I think this one, having no central column, is actually pretty great, because it allows you to go really low. It has no advantage on shooting higher, I think, you know, obviously, but to shoot low when you don't have that in the way, you can get more creative angles. If you're shooting video or shooting photos, definitely this is something to consider. So I'm quite excited about it. This is the first tripod that I've used without a central column. So, and I honestly, like, after using this for a while, I don't even miss it. So one of the interesting features about this that's different from my previous tripod is the ball head. I'm used to having a ball head where you have a couple of functions, but you know, one function kind of, you know, moves the ball head, and this is really a good ball head as well. Like, I had no issues, but this is quite different from traditional ball head, as in you get a lot of control with this one. You have, you know, the pan option, which is common on many different ball heads. You can pan your ball head any way you want, but also if you choose to pan with fixed 15 stop increments, you can activate this knob here. You just twist it, and then it allows you to rotate it with 15 degrees increment all the way around the diameter. For I have a 360 diameter, I guess, you know, so you can rotate all 360. And what's cool about it, you got the numbered angle, so you can actually see which angle you're at, you know. So right, for example, I'm at 120 here, so it's really easy to use. And if you don't want to use it, you can just kind of tighten it, and it just goes back to being a pan function. You can just rotate it freely, and actually it moves pretty smooth, as well as the ball head as well. It's very smooth to move, and no issues right there. And what's neat about this too is that you can adjust the tension on the knob here on the ball head, how much you want it to move. You want it to be really fluid or just a little bit. I like it to be super easy to rotate. Also, what makes this different from traditional tripods is the way the ball head works, which is quite interesting, and I've never used a ball head with this system before, so it's quite interesting. You have here the typical release, so when you release this, you tighten it, you can move your ball head any direction you want, and that's usually how most ball head works, and you know, this is what I'm familiar with. But also, if you want, if you just tighten this knob here, it creates a tilt feature, which only moves the ball head in a tilt feature, not side to side, keeping that the tension is still the same. So that's kind of an interesting. You can choose to activate this if you want or not use it, but I think if you're trying to keep your angle the same and just tilt your camera down, this is an interesting feature to use. So definitely this is how I would see using it. But if you don't want to use it, you just undo the tilt feature, and you can go back to moving the ball head any way you want. So it's kind of interesting you do that. And on this knob here, you can, when you have free movement, you can adjust the tension here as you want. You can make it tighter by just twisting the knob here, or you can make it really stiff, or you can make it very smooth. I like the smooth action, so I'll leave it at that. The only thing I would say, it takes some time to kind of understand the way this works, but once you understand it, it's pretty straightforward. So, you know, I'd like to leave it in the settings that I like it. You can set it up how you like, definitely. So definitely really interesting. As you can see, like the base for this tripod is really wide. So I like a big base compared to my other tripod. This definitely never used a wide base like this. So for me, like that means this is going to be a really stable tripod, and it's definitely more stable than my previous setup. So I'm happy about that. And it is very heavy duty, very stable. Seems like really solid build. And the twisty legs here, they work really smooth. They have no issues whatsoever. Kind of undoing the legs here and opening it up and closing it. Definitely it goes very smooth action here. It's quite easy to undo it and lock it up. I got it with the FLM CB-48FTR. This is the ball head with the clamp. So basically you get the tightener here and you have a clamp action to lock into place. I'm not familiar with the clamp action. This is the first time I use one, but honestly, like, I don't mind either way. You can choose, I think, two different kind of ball heads. You can choose the one with the clamp or without, depending what your favorite mechanism is. And this one, it's Arca Swiss compatible, so it fits with my setup that I have, so it's no problem whatsoever. One quite interesting feature as well is the way you kind of change the legs here. If you're trying to adjust the angle of your leg, you can see, like, when I release it here in the back, I just push this button and it kind of extends this out. It's like a little push button, and then you can kind of go up all the way to the first setting, and then let's say this is the where you want to go, but if you want to come down, it just kind of ratchets into place from different settings. So it's quite nice feature to have that, and this is one of the unique things about this tripod that I've never seen before. And you can actually, once you pack this down, you can actually, you get these rubber feet that come with it in the bottom, and you can actually unscrew these and pretty much put spikes that come with it. They get a set of 3 spikes and a tool to attach it. So it's definitely very interesting that you get the spikes included with the tripod, and you can attach them to the bottom. And what I like, it's the rubber seems kind of nice and flat, so it seems very sturdy to support on any kind of surface. So I quite like that. And the fact that you get spikes and they're kind of small, they're not too big, the spikes, it's actually pretty nice because they can fit easily in your pack and don't take a lot of room. So overall, this tripod, I think when it's closed down, it's about 23 inches, so it's not too big. And you know, it fits in my Shimoda bag very easily, as you can see kind of here on demonstration. It does stick out over the Shimoda Explorer version 2, but just because the bag has a lower profile. But if you're using the Shimoda Action X50, I think it will fit nicely on the side of the bag. I think that's just a common thing with all tripods. I think with the Shimoda Explorer version 2, you're gonna have the tripod sticking out because it's such a lower profile bag. But if you have it, let's say with the Action X50 or Shimoda or any other bigger bag, you probably won't have that issue at all. So it does pack really small, and honestly, like, this is a really nice solid tripod. Like, I've used it for a few for like a month or so, and granted I didn't go out on much photo outings in this 2 months because I've just been busy with the business side of photography, but definitely, like, I've used it enough to make my assessment, and I think it's really, if you're looking for a tripod, I would recommend checking this out. I'm gonna put a link in the description of the video. You can check it out, their website. You know, it has more technical details about it. I didn't get too technical with it. Definitely, like, you can read more about it if you're curious, and if you want to purchase one, you can purchase one. And I believe this is made in Germany. That's one thing to mention as well. It is a Canadian company, but the tripod is made in Germany. But everything seems pretty smooth on it, and you can actually pick any size you like. They have smaller sizes of this tripod. You can pick a smaller than 34, or you can pick I think they have one more that's 38, CP34-L4 or something. So the 38 is actually pretty massive. It's overkill for landscape photography. This is the one I was looking at when I was talking to the owner from FLM, but he's like, the 38 would be kind of overkill, but I think like the 34 is just massive. So what I'm going to do right now is just kind of open it up so you can kind of see how it looks when it's fully at the maximum height compared to me. And then I'll do a comparison also when I set it up kind of low, see how low it gets. You can see kind of when I talk about that, how low it gets to the ground. I'm curious to see, like, when I opened it up, it's pretty beast. And I do like the legs are super easy to open, like I have no issue whatsoever to open them. And like I said, you get 4 sections with these tripods, so once you open them all of them up, it's pretty high, you know. I mean, this is open all the way up, and you can see it's like almost going above my head, you know. So if I'm shooting at the highest, I'm looking up at the camera. Can't even see the ball head right now. So I just opened up the tripod here, and I'm just gonna back up and show you how big it looks compared to me. I'm 5'11", so roughly, like, you know, this is a massive tripod. So compared to me, I can see compared to me, it's a bit taller than me, and I'm 5'11", so definitely, like, this is a massive tripod. And I don't think I've ever used it in this position, because if I'm setting up the camera, I'm kind of looking up at it, so definitely. But if you want to get a higher angle looking down, this is more than the height I would ever need for kind of taking pictures. So definitely, like, it's kind of good that you can do that without needing to extend central column. Imagine if there was a central column here too, you go way further, and definitely, like, that will be overkill, I think. So yeah, I'm just gonna drop it down now, close it up, and see how low it gets, because just for a demonstration purpose, I'm gonna show you guys how low this goes as well. I think you guys will enjoy to see that as well. And you can see, like, the tripod here, the leg action is very smooth, like, so easy to undo it. It's actually pretty quick to close up all 3 legs and just tighten up. Here we go. So the nice thing about this is also, like when I said, the way these get pushed out, you kind of see, like, it's crazy. Like, this is, like, you know, how much this goes down. Obviously, like, this is crazy. Like, when I put it down, you can kind of see here how it's like, this is the maximum angle, and if I set that down, it spreads your weight down and allows you to shoot really low. So on windy days, this is really beneficial to do that. And if you extend some of the legs, it'll be even more stable in kind of windy days. So definitely this is something really cool. I want to do go low. I'm definitely pretty impressed, like, how much this gets low to the ground, like with the angle like that. Definitely, like, you know, it's really cool that you can do that. And it's, you know, you could probably, with a camera with a central column, you can probably remove the central column, but it just gets more tedious to that. Just having this not there completely eliminates the need. And the way these ratchet back into place, definitely very smooth action and very easy to do so, and you're back in the normal sense that you like. So definitely, like, if you're looking for a tripod, I would recommend checking these out. I think I will consider getting one for me, because I just a sample. Now I have to, like, either return it, decide to buy it. I haven't really decided yet, but I just want to be upfront. Like, there's nothing, I haven't decided, because, like, I just want to make sure I don't want to have too many tripods around. Like, having too many is definitely not the purpose, but definitely, like, this is a good one to consider. It's more sturdy than my tripod, and if I were to upgrade my tripod, it would be to this one for sure. If you have any questions about this tripod, anything that I might have missed or something, just leave me a comment on this video and I'm happy to answer it. I always like questions, I like engaging. And yeah, you do get on the ball head also, you get a level here and you get a level on the tripod as well, and I like it. I mean, there's really nothing bad I can say about this tripod. Everything works as it should. It works really well. It seems really well built, well sturdy, and I'm surprised I haven't heard of that tripod before, but I noticed some of my peers using it, like Adam Gibbs, Nick Page talked about it, and Phototripper. So definitely they might know something that they're not telling everybody to actually use this tripod. So definitely I recommend checking it out. And I want to thank Ari from FLM for lending me this tripod to try out, test out, and sending it to me to try it out. I think I really appreciate it. And definitely, like, but that's not in any way influencing what I have to say. Like, I've used this tripod. I guess the one thing I would say as negative about it would take some time getting used to the way the functions work, but once you get used to it, it works really well. Everything works as intended. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's different from what I'm used to, so it took some time adjusting to it, but I don't think there's any fault with the tripod system itself. That's just how it's designed. And once I spent more time with it, I understand the concept behind it, and I understand that to some people there might be some value with that. If you want to be extreme control, if you want to use 15 stop increments to do that, yeah, I don't see the point. I'm usually just framing up one composition. But if you want to be precise, you're trying to do a panel or something, and you want to be precise with your movement, so definitely this could be something very calculative. You know, I'm more like that, so this gives you more control than traditional tripod, and it takes some getting used to, but I can see the genius behind it. So definitely. And I was kind of skeptical a little bit about using a clamp because I was scared that I might accidentally open it while I have my camera and the camera drop, but honestly, like, after using it a while, that's never happened. So the ball head that I have here, the CB-48FTR with the QLB60 clamp, can actually hold up to 99 pounds in weight, which is kind of massive actually. And it has three functions. One is the tilt function, which is patented for FLM, so that's kind of a new feature. The other one would be the 360 panning. You can have a 360 pan on this one. And you have the tightening function for the ball head and the movement. You can tighten the strength of the movement. You can have it like move freely, or you can have just a bit of movement, so it can be like that control up to you. I would actually buy this too myself, but I just have to decide what to do with my current setup because I don't want to have way too many tripods, because then it just gets overkill. So definitely once I decide what I want to do, this is the one that I would buy next. If I were to upgrade my tripod, this is the one I would go with, definitely, because it is an upgrade from my current setup, which is, you know, seems kind of small in comparison right now. And honestly, like, don't be afraid of it's actually not that heavy. I thought it was going to be heavier when I first expected to get it, but after using it for a while, hiking with it, and it doesn't seem really bad. I mean, considering, you know, I think it's 4.3 pounds. It's not too bad, and I think, like, you know, when you're carrying gear, if you have a good pack like my Shimoda bag, it really carries my stuff very comfortably. And once I strap this to the Shimoda bag, I don't feel like it's that much of a weight. I mean, granted, you are carrying some weight. There's no such thing as, you know, weightless camera gear. So there's always some weight involved, especially when you're doing hiking and photography. So definitely, like, I wouldn't worry too much about the weight of this one. And I don't think it's that bad really hiking with it. It's definitely designed to be as lightweight as possible because, you know, it gives you what you need to have the stability and, you know, anywhere basically. Definitely, like, that's one thing that I like about this tripod. So this is pretty much all I can say about this tripod. I quite enjoyed using it, and if you have any questions about the tripod, just leave me a comment on this video. I'm happy to answer it in case if it's something specific. And yeah, like, I would recommend using this tripod a lot. I do like the fact that there's no central column. I like the height of it that it reaches. I like the fact that it can go low to the ground, and I like the sturdy, and I like the big base plate that you get. This is something that I didn't have in my previous tripod, and I'm excited about having something like this, or using something like this, or, you know, because, like, it just means more stable shot. And as a landscape photographer, kind of all you want is to have stable footage, stable shots. So if you're shooting video or even stills, you want to have a sturdy tripod, and definitely this is one sturdy tripod. Yeah, I think that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I think right now I'm gonna go find something to photograph for sure, since I'm out here in this national park, which is, you know, nearby my house. So yeah, gonna try to catch sunset here.